Is it pre-fire or post-fire?
Good afternoon. This is the Board of Supervisors General Plan Workshop. And workshops are generally conducted in a much more informal manner. But the general plan is worthy of us meeting in this room instead of some of the other conference rooms that we normally meet for workshops. This is a informational update. This is not generally a discussion-based situation, but more of just an update. We'll be going through dates as scheduled for the general plan for much more formal activities into the next 6 months. So again, this is just an update from staff and from others, and there will be ample time for public comment today after the presentation, and again, formal meetings and situations further on into the next 6 months. So at this point, I'll turn it over to the CEO, and for the public's notification, the CEO will be stepping out at about 2:15 for a meeting with Assemblywoman Patty Bird down at the fairgrounds for a fire update. So do not take the CEO's absence as slighting this process. This is just two major things going on at one time, and I was actually invited, and I've delegated it off to the CEO to attend that meeting instead of myself. So don't take that as a slight towards this process. So to the CEO.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I want to thank all the members of the audience for joining us today, and this is a significant step for us to be moving forward with this draft today. Without further ado, I want to turn the time over to Allison Glassy, the Assistant CEO from our office, and she can get us started with the presentation.
Thank you very much. Allison Glassy, Assistant CEO. The purpose of today's board workshop is to introduce and present the draft general plan update for public review. It has taken all of us a long time to get here. We need to appreciate how far we've come and that we are now on what I refer to as the homeward stretch. That period of time when the documents approach their final stage of development, the public review time frames click into place, and we roll steadily, we hope inexorably, forward to completion and certification of the new general plan update. So for purposes of framing the discussion, we are updating the Mendocino County General Plan that was adopted in 1981, nearly 3 decades ago. The direction by the board in 2001, when the update process was initially launched, was to maintain the overall philosophy and approach of the current general plan while updating it for the experiences and intervening growth of the county. The consultants began their work with the Planning and Building Department in 2001, several board configurations ago, and completed the preparatory activities and data collection, initial community-level outreach and planning, and a draft outline of the new document. So all of that was completed from 2001 through about 2004. Somewhere, approximately 3 years ago, there was a break in that process. In late 2006, the planning team was created and handed the general plan update as one of 3 priority projects that they were to bring to completion. The planning team admittedly spent its first months reviving the Ukiah Valley Area Plan process, which was re-beginning at an earlier stage. After the planning team review and meeting with the consultants, which are PMC World are our consultants, the general plan update process was jump-started in early 2007 with an initial workshop with the Board of Supervisors, and it's been sprinting ever since. The major accomplishments to date include, since the planning team took it on, include thorough Planning Commission review and guidance on the document, on the development of the draft general plan update, working with the Energy Working Group and the Planning Commission and incorporation of relevant policies into the draft, working with the Water Agency, Planning Commission, and the Board on the development of comprehensive water policies, and their incorporation into the draft, and additional review and response to community input, in particular from Anderson Valley. On that note, the last Planning Commission meeting on that subject just occurred on July 14th, only a week ago, after an earlier meeting had to be canceled. Eric Norris, our consultant from PMC, will explain how that material is reflected in today's documents. I do want to, however, distribute an updated version of the work plan timeline just for the general plan process, and I believe that's been handed out and copies are available for the public as well. The overall work plan has not been lengthened. I want to be very clear that the out dates have not been lengthened. However, I have put in specific dates where warranted. So, for example, the last Planning Commission meeting was the 14th instead of the 3rd, and I corrected that date. I also left off the second 6 months of 2009 and all of 2010 in order to keep the copies to one double-sided page. This does get you through the completion and certification of the general plan, though. I also want to acknowledge that we have received correspondence from a few parties requesting an extension of the public comment period on the notice of preparation for the draft EIR for the general plan update. Although contrary to appearances, we do not want to get into the habit of extending every timeline that is set. This request is compelling due to the fire emergencies that have occurred that involve the entire county, including the Anderson Valley area, and led to the postponement of that Planning Commission meeting. So staff has reviewed the overall time commitments for the general plan update and has concluded that a 3-week extension of the comment period, which was due to end today, would not delay future time commitments. In other words, we can keep to our schedule, but we can extend the period for public comments through August 11th at 5 p.m. So if you have any concerns about allowing for this extension, please let me know. Bear in mind that this public comment on the notice of preparation is solely for the purpose of providing